Hello. Okay, so I'm in the lockdown a little bit. My hair's still pretty shit. So the other day I was standing next to this dude, and he had these fly worms under his skin, and it was wiggling outwards. And I was like, dude, I think maybe you take too many vitamins because you eat too much meat, because these worms, they're like, the flies will come to you and they will lay their eggs in you and it will come out your face. If you touch your face too much, see, this coronavirus, it mutates your meat. What it is, really, the truth is, it's probably just a fly coming along, touching the coronavirus, touching your skin. You end up getting it on your hands. You don't like washing, so then you touch your face. Next thing you know, these school scabs have worms growing out of your skin. And it's baby flies going to be hatching. And they hatch into these little flies, and the flies come along and pick up their babies, carry them on their back, and then they go around dropping them on you in places that they know those baby flies can draw the energy to live. But they put all these pictures of a few videos where coronavirus is actually this and that, but corona really was to do with the sun, that they were mucking with it. And the sun got colder and is going to be further away from us, so we're going to get sicker. Also, they sprayed heaps of tire dust through the sky, and that made everyone have a lot of breathing problems. So they all went off to the hospital, where they pumped them with way too much oxygen, and their brain just went all too oxidated. And people have been dying in the past for brains being too oxidated. Today I learned that the corona part of the virus is actually from the sun and named that, but they don't want people to talk about that. I want to try to say that it's a touch virus, because you might have fly eggs. There's a lot of idiots that are OCD, like the monk guy on TV used to be like that. He used to hate bad hygiene or germs, and so they kind of blamed it on airborne germs, because they knew that they'd already put tire dust aerosol into people's lungs. They weren't used to asthma pumps going on their lungs. They don't breathe with their nose, to use their nose hairs instead of their lung hairs. And pretty much there's all kinds of complicated shit coming together. Try to make up all kinds of rubbish. There's these fearful of filth kind of people. Some people that are all filth and nothing of the clean. And they both have side effects. Being too clean washes off your genetics, while being too dirty, it might have benefits where your body might soak up some of the certain nutrients. But flies, they're like dirty people. They'll come along and lay eggs in your dirty flesh, and if you don't wash it out, the worms will hatch, and those little maggots, they will live under your flesh, under your rotting flesh. So I think fasting is a good idea, because eating too much meat, it causes tumours, and it also feeds those baby maggots. And there's worms that you get if you eat too much meat. If you get wild meat, go hunting. A lot of people these days in New Zealand's going hunting. They're eating these wild meats, but they don't know anything about these natural foodborne worms. There's these tapeworms and many kind of worms inside those wild fly-blown animals that are out in the bush, and they're eating those things. And they don't cook their pork hot enough, so they get the worms. It's called trichinosis or something like that. But it's real. It's worms. I caught a fly once. I caught a sheep and it was fly blowing. I dived off a cliff on top of it, and then we weren't tumbling, but then we went right off the cliff. But I saw that I was falling underneath it, and I just did some potential like that, and it made me come up to the top. That I'd land on that bloody sheep, and I'll skin him, and I'll cut off his fly blowings, and I'll cook him, and I'll roast him for a couple of hours at least. So watch what meat you eat. If you're going to go hunting, cook it hot and long, very hot, 250 degrees Celsius, in 2.5 hours. Of course, the meat will get kind of hot and hard, but it's, because you're not eating farmed meat, which is kept safe from the flies. They've been washed over and dipped all the time. So that's part and parcel of what's going on. So with warts, I got a wart from urinating in the bath, and that bloody thing got hot, so it's just a burn. But they try to say it was a virus. I had some warts come out under my armpits. So if you touch urine surfaces of public, sometimes the urine has a virus and it gets into you, and it's a relation of a herpes virus, but it's not the herpes absolute virus. It's a type of mild version, and it gets out through your pores. And so it could have happened. I go to public toilets a lot of my life, so be careful. It gets in your pores. Have a wash right after that, because it's scary. There is an acid you get from the doctor. You put it on the heads of your warts, and it burns them down so that they can't be pore-emitting contagions. So that's one way to stop these mutating viruses that are out there. I heard about when it comes to green virus from sickness, all you got to do is have a lot of water, because in the old days we sweated it out. So have 5 cups of water a day. And there's another thing: if you get a urine infection, it's because you've used too much water or too much liquid, too many sugary liquids. So cut the sugars and use cinnamon or something else. But there's this thing that I heard, that when I had a urine infection, couldn't get rid of it, couldn't do healing down there because there was always burning water on it, burning urine and solution on your cuts and that. All you got to do, if these men got cuts on their penises and stuff, all you got to do is don't drink any water for 2 whole days. It's going to be bloody hard. If you've got a pacemaker zapping you, your heart's going to be a bit jumpy. But if you really want a cure, maybe go to the hospital and ask them to watch over you while you go on a water fast. Just stay there for a couple of days, not drinking water. Because they gave me water and I drank ice water, but it was really hurting me. I just kept drinking it when I thought I needed it. And I was in a warm part of the hospital, so they put me in a cold part of the hospital and said, right, well, you're not thirsty now, so now you can fast from that water like I told you. So they got me to watch this Sky TV channel, and I just watched heaps of TV, and I didn't get to do much drinking or liquid. And they give me the odd snack, but as long as it wasn't too dry, because you needed your water and your salt. You've got to have your potassium to help you digest, and you've got to have sunshine coming in with that and exercise. So I had an ability after a major operation, but the thing is, now if you just dehydrate yourself for those 2 days, you'll let your organs that have been burned from a lot of liquid, you'll let them dry up, and keeping it dry makes it heal. So cuts get healed by keeping them dry. So some nights I don't even drink water, and I just meditate and I use a magnet to try to pull. Say if there's a worm in my heart, and it's going in my heart and causing, heart attack, I grab a magnet, stick it next to my heart, and it causes all the iron in my blood to go towards the worm, and then they hate that. But in saying that, don't do it too long. If your heart gets worse and palpitating, take it away and turn the magnet around. The positive end towards you heals, but it's in Iron Man they have an electromagnet that pushes in and it disperses the iron away. So say if you've got the worm in your heart pissing you off, clump that metal onto him by using the negative one to clump in, condense in, and crash it all. He'll get stuck by all these little pins of metal stuck in him. So wherever you feel that he is, it'll fucking stick in him. But then turn it around and it'll push him away. So it'll tell him, piss off, piss off away from this. You're causing me anxiety. And the positive actually does heal you. Think of a pace. Click your finger or something. Think of a slower pace. Calm down. And turn in your mind into a place in the jungle where it's nice and green and peaceful. Or for some people it's the beach where it's light blue and calming. Just step outside yourself and think calm thoughts. I heard that you had to be grounded for the electricity that's turmoiling in you, building up because the pacemaker is forcing it to do too much. It's trying to push out whatever is blocking. Well, put your foot on the ground, even in your flat, as long as it's got a grounding cable outside, your power is going to come out of you and go to the earth. That's why people draw a lot on the cross. It's actually not meant to do one that's down cross, but meant to be the top, the cross up the top. Not the other one down the bottom. That's the devil's cross. But anyway, some people say that the positive cross only pushes you into the positive, but you need to drain it off with the negative. Sometimes you're too charged, so you need a neutron, need a negative cross. And I'm not saying we should do evil things, but maybe some people resort to the negative just to get the charge off of them. I personally don't believe in upside down crosses and that, but there could be some truth to it. I think the negative magnet is a good thing. It draws the pain out, but don't leave it all gone and too hollow, because it can cause pain. So it's a good balance of both. If you can move it with your mind. Do what it takes. Garlic is a good immunity builder. I ate a bulb that was very toxic and too strong for a young lad, but I learned the hard way. I was puking all kinds of things. I said, "Joe, shit, I can eat anything." So I bit into it and I was throwing up, and then I had to have some sugar. Go eat some lollipops and stuff. Neutralise the poison. Alright, do what it takes. Get well, eh? Be well. Hit like or subscribe.